tutuusin, marami tayong pwedeng gawin para iayos o itama kung ano man ang dapat baguhin sa trabaho o sa paligid natin. Pero kailangang lumabas tayo paminsan-minsan sa ating comfort zone para ito ay mangyari. Huwag mong isipin na wala ka namang magagawa. Dahil sa totoo lang, ang maliliit na aksyon para sa kabutihan o katwiran, kapag pinagsama-sama ay magbubunga rin ng maganda at malaking pagbabago. Ang sabi nga ni Edmund Burke, "Nobody made a greater mistake than he who did nothing because he could do only a little." Ano nga ba ang pwede mong gawin? Una, speak up. Kapag mayroon kang nakitang hindi tama, iwasang manahimik lamang na parang walang nangyayari. Speak up and learn to confront what is not right. Kung may kaopisina ka na mahilig sa chismis at palagi kang kinekwentuhan ng tungkol sa buhay ng ibang kaopisina ninyo, sa mahinahong pamamaraan ay pwede mo namang sabihin sa kanya, iba na lang ang pag-usapan natin, happy thoughts na lang tayo. May mga panahong kailangan mong magsalita at ipaalam sa iba kung ano ang katanggap-tanggap at hindi sa iyo. Pangalawa, begin the change in you. May mga pagbabago tayong gustong mangyari pero ginagawa ba natin ang ating bahagi para ayusin ang dapat ayusin? Naiinis ka sa traffic, pero tapat ka bang sumusunod sa traffic rules? Gaya ng pagpapanatiling bukas ng mga intersection. We demand so much from other people, pero ang mga gusto ba nating makitang pagbabago sa iba ay totoo sa atin? At pangatlo, pray without ceasing. Napakalaki ng magagawa ng pananalangin para umayos ang takbo ng buhay at bansa natin. Totoong limitado ang kaya nating gawin pero hindi limitado ang magagawa ng Diyos. We cannot change people, but God can. May gusto ka bang baguhin o ayusin diyan sa trabaho o negosyo mo? Simulan mo ito sa pananalangin na mula sa puso. The moment you get frustrated with what is happening around you, isipin mo na marami ka pang pwedeng gawin. You can speak up, initiate change by starting with yourself, and by praying unceasingly. Para sa Pro Tips, ako si Maloy Malibiran sa Lumbides. Be a blessing in the workplace today.
El DXAS FEBC, de ustedes Radio Comunidad, ta serví para conectar gobierno, privado y mga miembro del comunidad. DXAS 1116, de ustedes Radio Comunidad.
Ang oras sa buong Pilipinas, alas 7:07 na ng umaga.
Alamin ang mga kaganapan at mga pinag-uusapan sa Zamba Sulta. Makibalita at makibahagi sa pagbabago at pag-unlad. Oras na, Zamba Sulta!
Isang mapagpalang araw sa lahat ng nakikinig sa 1116 DXAS, your community radio. Good morning, Zamboanga. Isang maulan o makulimlim na umaga para po sa ating lahat at welcome sa ating programang Oras na Zambasuta. Buenos dias a todo, maayong buntag sa tanan. Ngayon po ay araw ng Thursday, February 26, 2026 at kayo nga ay nakikinig sa ating programang Oras na Zambasuta. Happy holiday para dito sa siyudad ng Zamboanga. Medyo magiging busy tayo for the whole day at sa mga susunod na araw dahil sa mga activities initiated and led by our city government of Zamboanga. Kaya magsaya po tayong lahat ngayong araw ng Zamboanga Chartered Day no, ng ating syudad. Siyempre, samahan niyo po kami dito sa aming programa, ang Oras na Zambasuta, hanggang mamayang 8:30 ng umaga. Kami po ang inyong mga lingkod, Sara May Tulabing.
At ang inyong kabarangay, Robin Soling, oo, no, Dia de Zamboanga at maulan nga, Sar, no? Pansin natin, parang 3 days na, no? 3 days o 4 days na.
Dahil sa Easterly.
Okay, no? At maganda din, no? Magandang kuwan din sa atin to kasi nga nagkakaroon tayo ngayon ng water rationing. So alam mo, doble, no? Doble yung saya, especially kapag umuulan kasi alam natin na magkakaroon ng tubig, no? Ang
Oo.
'di ba? Dati kasi iniisip natin pag nag-iiba talaga, no? Nag-iiba talaga yung perspective ng tao, especially habang lumalaki at tumatanda, no? Ngayon pag umuulan, medyo masaya tayo, no? Kasi
Yes.
may blessing at pangalawa may tubig na naman. All right. Anyway, sir, no, pero siyempre batiin naman natin ang ating mga kabarangay ng good morning diyan sa Sulu, Basilan, Tawi-Tawi, no? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Ang daming activities, ang daming mga kaganapan in connection, no, sa Ramadan, no? Alam mo, sabi nga nila, no, yan yung panahon o yung mga araw na 'di ba ay punong-puno din ng kagalakan at saya ang ating mga kabarangay, no, especially diyan sa Sulu, Basilan at Tawi-Tawi. At syempre dito sa siyudad de Zamboanga, no, good morning. At syempre good morning sa iyo, partner.
Yes, at alam mo, mas good morning sa ating mga estudyante dyan at sa
Ay,
mga empleyado natin dahil makakapagpahinga rin sila. So may opportunity sila para mag-participate mamaya, no? Kasi starting 3 p.m. ay magsisimula ang ating activity at may mga announcement tayo mamaya, Bin, dahil may mga closed road, meron mga rerouting scheme, no? May mga pagbabago sa daanan to give way sa celebration ng Dia de Zamboanga. At speaking of ng ano pala, Bin, no? Ng tubig kanina, oo, talagang blessing itong ulan, and hopefully ay maging reason siya para maging normal muli ang ating water level kasi no sa update ng Zamboanga City Water District nasa below normal pa tayo, Bin. Ang ating normal level ng water ay dapat nasa 74.20 pero as of 1 p.m. kahapon ng February 25 ay nasa 74.14 lamang tayo. So let's pray po, no, na maging reason ito para tayo ay magkaroon ng tubig or else ay kailangan natin muli magsakripisyo para sa mga water rationing. So ayan, good morning po sa lahat at syempre kung kayo ay may mga tanong, oo, saan sila magte-text, Bin? Sa'yo na lang ulit.
Ayan, no. Kung kayo may mga tanong, mga kabarangay, no, kayo may mga gustong ibahagi, no, si Keros Tedes man-text ka namon, no, mag-text lang sa text cellphone number sa 0916-296-6625. Again, 0916-296-6625 o kaya mag-comment sa ating Facebook page sa 1116 DXAS, your community radio.
At syempre, abangan nila ang ating topic mamaya dahil Dia de Zamboanga ngayon. Pag-uusapan natin sa ating segment na Lingon sa Kasaysayan, Karunungan sa Kasalukuyan ang tungkol sa Chartered City ng Zamboanga City, ng naging chartered city ito. Alamin natin ano nga ba ang Zamboanga City dati, paano ito naging chartered city, naging Dia de Zamboanga, at ipapasok din natin si Artilin. Oo, yung kilalang Artilin Boulevard
Mm.
at area dito sa Maya, Sibugay na Artilin. Alamin natin sino ba yan siya, ano ba yan siya, bakit pinangalanan niyang Artilin, ano ang naging contribution niya. Pero yan ay Zamboangueño. So abangan niyo po yan mamaya kasama ang ating historian from Ateneo de Zamboanga University, si Sir, ang ating favorite history teacher, Sir Rovic Jan Eslao. Good morning po kay Sir Jan, kay Sir Rovic Jan Eslao. Ayan, oras natin, alas 7:13 ng umaga, pumunta tayo sa ating weather report.
Weather report.
Para sa ating ulat panahon, nakakaapekto ang easterlies sa ating bansa at dito sa ating lugar. Bahagyang maulap hanggang sa maulap na kalangitan na may bukod-bukod na pag-ulan o pagkulog, pagkidlat ang mararanasan sa Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga, Sibugay, Basilan, Sulu at Tawi-Tawi. Samantala, maulap naman sa Zamboanga del Norte dahil sa easterlies. Posible pong magkaroon ng mga pagbaha o pagguho ng lupa tuwing may malalakas na pagkulog at pagkidlat. Kaya po tayo ay dapat mag-ingat. Ang ating temperatura dito sa syudad ng Zamboanga tinatayang aabot sa 24 degrees Celsius hanggang 34 degrees Celsius.
Happy birthday to you, and may all your dreams come true. Happy, happy birthday.
February 26, happy birthday, number 1 sa aking listahan ng aking kapatid. Nagbe-birthday ngayong araw na ito. 32 na ata siya, kasi 33 ako. So happy birthday kay Kayla Grace Descalzota Vicente Jacinto. Happy birthday rin po kay ka-birthday niya ba ang kanyang best friend, si Suzette? Ka-birthday niya ba? Ayan, happy birthday, Suzette Flores. Ayan, dyan taga Pasobolong. Happy birthday, Seth. And tingnan natin, check pa ba? Okay, I think wala nang may ibang birthday pa ngayong araw na ito. Ayan, happy birthday!
Ayan naman, Sir, no, dito sa akin naman sa listahan, nag-iisa si Sir Mike Jr. Happy birthday. And congratulations pala no sa wedding kahapon ng ni Mr. and Mrs. no Tondoyano. Yan, no, Raymark Tondoyano. Sabihin ko pa sana happy birthday, happy wedding, ano?
Happy
Yan,
wedding day.
Happy wedding. Ayan, oo.
Yeah, oo. Happy wedding day. Kamukha
Ayun
niya
lang.
pala yung kamukha niya yung kapatid. Kamukha niya si AJ. Akala ko nga si AJ eh. Nagkapatid ba sila, yung bride?
Oo, magkapatid sila, magkapatid.
Oo, talaga.
Oo.
Tinignan ko na mabuti. Si AJ ba to? Parang hindi kami nasabihin kung si AJ. Oh, happy birthday. Happy wedding day. Congratulations sa iyong sister-in-law. Ayan. So muli, sa mga nagbe-birthday, happy birthday.
Salita at tanong ngayon.
Ang ating salita ngayong umaga, the beauty.
Sa Tagalog, ang kagandahan.
At Chavacano, el hermosura.
Sa Bisaya, ang kagwapa.
Sa Ilonggo, ang katahum.
Tausog in lingkat.
Tanong po natin, ano yung kagandahan na meron ang syudad ng Zamboanga na gustong gusto mo? Acts 17:26. From one man, he made all the nations that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. Sa magandang balita, Biblia, mula sa isang tao, nilikha niya ang lahat ng lahi sa buong mundo. Itinakda niya sa simula't simula pa ang kani-kanilang panahon at hangganan. Ngayong araw ng Dia de Zamboanga, gusto nating i-emphasize yung kagandahan ng ating lungsod. At Siyempre, no, sa ating nabasa na verse ngayon, dito natin makikita kung saan ba tayo nagsimula. Alam naman natin, no, sa Genesis, nakita natin, nabasa natin kung paano sinimulang likhain ng Panginoon ang mundo. At hindi na bago sa atin yung paniniwala na kahit yung Zamboanga, maraming mang pinagdaanan ang Zamboanga, pero isa to sa mga beauty na nilikha ng Panginoon at hindi aksidente kung bakit tayo nandito. Ikaw ba, Bin, kung tatanungin kita, cosa to kere-kere aquí na syudad de Zamboanga? Kasi ikaw pwede ka naman magstay sa Malaysia, Tawi-Tawi, marami kang lugar pwedeng tirhan, di ba? Kung ako lang nga masusunod, ayaw kita na nandito sa Zamboanga eh.
Ako din, no?
Ako din.
Kung pwede sana hindi
Palayasin
sa
ako.
Zamboanga.
O hindi, ano nga
Oo.
gusto mo?
Ako dito sa syudad, no, yung sa tao, no, yung diversity, no.
Yes.
Oo, isa 'yan. Kasi yung nga ako natuto ako mag-Chabacano dito na Zamboanga, natuto ako mag-Bisaya dito na rin.
Sample.
Oo. Oh, ketal tu. Ayan. No.
Sa Bisaya,
Naunsa man, di ba?
iba ang translation. O
Oo.
tapos,
Pero parang ang dating nun parehas lang, no? Hindi, at saka pangalawa sa yung siguro yung ano naalala ko sinabi ng isang leader sa Sulu, yun nga, yung Zamboanga kasi parang siyang second home ba? Second home na especially kapag dito sa mga karatig na probinsya na or mga municipalities, iba kasi yung pag fields, no, pag nasa sa Zamboanga ka. Iba, alam mong at home, no, welcome ka. Yung parang ganoon. Yun yung nakita ko na maganda. At ang Pasunangka Tree House. Yan, oo, yan kasi yan yung pasyalan ko ever since noon maliit pa kami. Diyan talaga ako dinadala palagi. Ewan ko bakit.
oo, isa kasi yan sa mga highlight natin dito sa Zamboanga. Ako naman ang pinakagusto ko dito, yung may iba't ibang dialekto tayo. At proud ako sa ating Chabacano. Kasi alam mo yun, naalala ko nung nasa Manila kami, di ba yung mga nursery, preschool, meron yan mga, ano bang tawag doon, yung parang you will represent different countries. Alam nila na marunong kami mag-Chabacano na
United
malapit siya
Nation
sa
Day? Ganun ba
Oo,
yan?
parang yan, oo. Malapit nga siya sa Spanish. Kami ang pinapatranslate, pinapagawa ng introduction. At nakakatuwa. Natutuwa sila pag naririnig nila yung salita ng Chabacano. Pakilala kita tamang kwento, unoy otro. Na-amaze yung ibang tao. Kasi nga parang Espanyol nga daw talaga. At di ba nakita naman din natin nung may panahon nga na bumisita sa atin dito ata yung mga kababaihan at yung isang kasamahan natin sa media na kaya niyang makipag-usap doon sa I think Mexico ata yun. Oo, may isang lugar na talagang nagkaintindihan sila dahil
Lapit, no?
napakalapit ng Chabacano doon sa kanilang dialekto naman. Kaya nakakatuwa yung mga tao, yung mga pagkain. Kaya siguro, Bino, yung challenge natin sa beauty na binigay ng Panginoon sa Zamboanga, hindi ka aksidente kung bakit dito ka nakatira. May dahilan ng Panginoon, bakit dito kanya nilagay. Kagaya ni SM, pinanganak naman si SM sa Cavite naman ata, di ba? Doon siya lumaki. Pero dito siya nilagay sa Zamboanga. Si Ma'am Dang, may dahilan, may aksidente. May aksidente. Walang aksidente. Wala pong aksidente. Wala pong aksidente kung bakit nandito kayo sa syudad. May purpose ang Panginoon. Kaya yung challenge natin sa kanila, Bin, today, bakit hindi po tayo magbigay ng time to pray for Zamboanga? Like yung continuous peace and order natin, di ba? Yung relationship natin despite sa iba't ibang ating background, maging united, magkaroon ng harmony, magkaroon ng relationship ang bawat isa. Yung one goal is to maintain yung kagandahan ng Zamboanga and of course to glorify God. Diba? Yan yung challenge natin sa kanila.
No, at saka yun nga sir, no, talagang yung 'di ba, madali kasi, no, mabilis kasi natin makita ano yung kalat, ano yung 'di ba, hindi maayos. Pero kung titingnan mo lang, no, siyempre kahit saan ka pumunta lugar, sir, 'di ba, yung mga na-appreciate nga natin mga lugar na maganda, maayos. Pero kapag pupunta ka sa, 'di ba, sa isang sulok naman, makita mo ay makalat din pala. Halimbawa naman, hindi ko siguro ma-mention yung city. Pero sa Pilipinas lang, ang grabe, ang laki ng mga buildings, no, ang daming mga LED lights. Pero meron silang tinatawag na anong street yun? Butas, parang butas ata yung term.
Mhm.
Likod lang yun ng mga malalaking buildings. And then pagpunta mo doon, para kang nasa ibang bansa na naman kasi puro dikit-dikit yung mga bahay. So parang alam mo yun. Pero kung yung point of view at yung perspective mo kasi nandun ka lang sa neutral na alam mo yun, no, mapaliwanag man yan o madilim, yung the same appreciation na meron ka, alam mo na ginawa ito ng Panginoon, hindi mag-iiba, no? Hindi mag-iiba yung mood o hindi mag-iiba yung pakikitungo o yung pananaw mo doon sa tao o sa lugar mismo.
Kumbaga, kung ano naman yung issue natin dito, meron naman din yan sa iba. Pero yung ating iha-highlight, ano ba yung beauty? Parang sa buhay din natin, may mga problema tayo, pero hindi tayo doon sa negative titingin. Doon sa brighter side, kahit may negative, ano ba yung brighter side? Ano ba ang yung kinagandahan ng buhay, 'di ba? Ng lugar na ito. At we should give yung glory sa Panginoon. Kaya muli po ang ating tanong, ano, kung ikaw ay taga Zamboanga or dito ka nakatira, ano yung gustong-gusto mo dito? Share nyo po yan sa ating Facebook page, 1116 DXAS, your community radio.
Mga gawang kabutihan para sa bayan. Marapat ipamalita yan. Mabati ang mabuti.
Kapag tunay ang pag-ibig, walang hadlang ang karamdaman. Isang nakakakilig at nakakaanting na kwento ang umantig sa puso ng marami noong araw ng mga puso dahil isang 64 years old na lalaki mula sa Plaridel, Bulacan, na kasulukuyang nagpapagaling mula sa stroke, ang nagpatunay na ang pagmamahal ay walang limitasyon. Sa kabila po kasi ng kanyang kalagayan, nagplano siya ng simpleng sorpresa para sa kanyang asawang matagal nang katuwang sa buhay. Nagpabili siya ng bulaklak at nag-isip ng munting palabas. Kunwari, sasakit ang kanyang tiyan upang mapalapit ang asawa doon at makita ang bulaklak na tahimik niyang inihanda. Sa isang simpleng sandali na ipakita niya na hindi kailangang magarbo ang selebrasyon para maging makahulugan. Isang bulaklak, isang ngiti at isang pusong marunong magmahal. Sapat na upang gawing espesyal ang araw. Marami ang napakomento na tunay na naisabuhay ng mag-asawa ang pangakong sa hirap at ginhawa, sa sakit at kalusugan. Ang wagas na pagmamahal ay hindi nasusukat sa pisikal na lakas, kundi sa kahandaang magbigay at magpasaya anumang estado ng buhay.
Hindi sukat, kulang sa timbang, pandaraya o maling gawin. Maitama ang mali.
At para naman sa maitama ang mali, isang ambulansya ang napara ng Department of Transportation Special Action and Inspection Coordinating Team sa EDSA Busway Santolan Station at natuklasang ginagamit pala bilang shuttle service. Sa investigasyon, bumungad sa mga operatiba ang loob ng sasakyan, puno ng upuan na parang ordinaryong van. Ngunit wala ni isang kagamitan para sa medical na emergency tulad ng stretcher, oxygen tank o first aid kit. Nang tanungin ang driver, inamin nito na ginagamit nila ang ambulansya para sa mga pasaherong pupunta lang sa ospital para sa check-up. Dahil dito, binigyan ng temporary operators permit ang mga driver. Subalit, naharang sila dahil sa ilang paglabag katulad ng disregarding traffic sign o illegal passing sa EDSA busway at failure to carry ORCR nang hindi maipakita ang original na resibo at rehistro. Kaagapay, ang ambulansya ay hindi basta sasakyan. Ito ay instrumento para sa agarang lunas at kaligtasan ng buhay. Ang maling paggamit nito ay maaaring magdulot ng panganib sa publiko at may kaakibat na pananagutan sa batas. Huwag gawing shuttle ang sasakyang dapat handa para sa emergency.
Zambasulta Balita.
Oras natin mga kabarangay, alas 7:27 na ng umaga at para sa ating unang balita, no, ito nga ay mula sa City Government of Zamboanga, no, dahil nga sa Dia de Zamboanga, ang syudad ay magkakaroon ng mga iba't ibang activities or aktibidades, no, na dahil nga sa selebrasyon ng 89 no or 89 Dia de Zamboanga. Ang activities ay magbubukas o bukas ito para sa mga residente at mga bisita dito sa ating syudad, no. Unang-una ito nga, no, yung cheer dance competition at 4 p.m. at ang Birds Festival and Photography Contest noong Tuesday, no, February 24 at kahapon yung Local Achievers Award. At ngayong araw magkakaroon nga, no, yung nga sabi mo kanina sir, magkakaroon ng mga traffic dahil nga may civic parade and main program or flash mob and fireworks display. Oh, may fireworks display mamaya mga kabarangay, no, ngayong araw na to. So anong oras kaya, no, malalaman natin mamaya ang update dito kung anong oras itong mga parade. Bukas may Concurso de Saber del Ciudad, no, February 27. February 28, ito yung Dia de Zamboanga Motorcade Race Grand Motor Show de Zamboanga. At eto, pwede tayo kami ni Kuya Pons, pwede kami dito, no, etong
Kuya
hip-hop.
Meng.
Oo, si Kuya Meng, ang hip-hop dance competition, no? Si Kuya Meng Man break body, break body, break dance, break dance.
So yung main character nyo.
Oo, so yan ang mga activities, sir, in connection dito sa 89th Dia de Zamboanga.
Yes, kaya po doon sa mga kalapit na barangay, no, na saan gagawin ang fireworks display, ano lang po tayo, huwag magpanik kasi 'di ba yung iba din ay may mga trauma pa. Yan po ay fireworks display. Kung may marinig po kayong mga putukan mamayang gabi, yan po ay hudyat na tayo nga ay talagang nagse-celebrate na ng ating ika-89th Dia de Zamboanga.
Zambasulta Balita.
At dahil po dyan, meron pong inilabas na memorandum order si Alcalde Kimer Adan Olaso. Ito po yung KHYM 0149 series of 2026 kung saan, no, magkakaroon nga po ng mga rerouting scheme at no entry or closed road. So, ito po yung mga lugar like sa rerouting scheme mula po sa NS Valderosa Street straight papuntang Mayor C. Climaco Avenue at doon sa mga dadaan sa JS Alano Street fronting Sunken Garden ay kailangan po mag-turn left papuntang Ledesma Street to San Jose Road and then turn left to Normal Road to end at Mayor Joaquin Enriquez Memorial Sports Complex. So, for sure mamaya ay meron ding magli-lead sa inyo ng mga traffic enforcer and barangay officials para po kung magabayan kayo kung saan kayo magta-turn left. Yung no entry or closed roads naman po ay magaganap dahil meron tayong parade gaya nga ng sabi ni Robin kanina. Starting 1 p.m. mamaya po yan at hanggang sa matapos po ang parade. So, no entry or closed road po ang NS Valderosa Street, maliban na lang sa mga vehicles na kailangan dumaan through Corcuera Street. Close or no entry din ang San Jose Road mula po sa junction ng Climaco Avenue hanggang Normal Road. Close din mismo ang Normal Road, ang Varela Street, at kung saan one way naman din talaga ito papuntang Artilim Boulevard. No entry or closed road din ang Alejo Alvarez. Ito po yung mula sa Artilim Boulevard, maliban na lang doon sa mga residente at business establishment owners na doon doon nakastay or doon po ang kanilang negosyo. Okay? So Buena Vista Street from Mayor Haldon Street, except sa mga residente pa rin at mga business establishment owners. Pero hindi pwede mag-traverse through San Jose Road. Yung Triplet Road, ayan, kasama po siya sa no entry or closed road from Canelar Moret, except pa rin doon sa mga residente at business owners. At Don Basilio Navarro Road at Ruste Drive. Temporary traffic rerouting scheme, westbound PUVs, yung ruta na dadaan sa San Jose Road ay madadivert po muna kayo sa Artilim Boulevard. Lahat ng mga vehicles, mga sasakyan sa West Coast to City proper, vice versa, pwede nyong daanan ang Artilim Boulevard or Governor Camins, provided na yung mga PUVs natin mula po sa West Coast ay dadaan sa may Artilim Boulevard. Temporary motor vehicle parking, pagbibigyan po kayo na mag-park sa may Artilim Boulevard. Okay, sa harap po ng entrance ng PRC at dito sa harap din ng City Public Library para yan sa lahat ng types of vehicles.
Zambasulta Balita.
Ayan, samantala Bin, dagdag na muna natin itong announcement dahil nga Dia de Zamboanga, ang Zamselco ay naglabas ng public advisory informing itong mga MCOs natin na open pa rin po ang kanilang mga outlet ngayong araw na ito kahit special non-working holiday. Okay? Yung collection window, ang main office, ang Ayala sub-office, ang Sangali sub-office ay bukas pa rin ng 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. while yung mga authorized collection partners like yung sa Southway Square Mall, City Mall, budget-wise, open naman ng 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. para yung budget-wise ay nasa 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. only. Okay, pwede nyo pa rin pong bayaran ng inyong mga bills through online payment channels. Okay, at alam niyo na po yung mga online payment channels saan nyo pwedeng bayaran ng inyong mga bills. At paalala na lang din natin din sa ating mga tagapakinig bago tayo magtapos sa ating balita na kailangan po natin manatiling mag-ingat dahil kahapon nagkaroon nga ng sunog. Umabot ito ng first alarm dyan po sa may barangay Riondo Bin. Oo, may community tayo actually dyan, pero malayo naman ito sa ating area. So, totally burned, isang bahay ang totally burned. Isa po yung partial, according sa report ng Bureau of Fire Protection, umabot yung damage sa 1.2 million pesos, more or less, na pagmamayari nila Haji Misba Ladja at Mr. Usman Alfaro. 6 na pamilya ang apektado sa naganap na sunog kahapon, bandang 5:16 ng hapon sa nasabing area. Mag-ingat po ang lahat. Patuloy pa rin po ang investigasyon ng ating mga Bureau of Fire Protection para matukoy kung ano ang sanhi ng insidente. Isa po ang na-injure. At papasok na po tayo sa buwan ng Marso, kaya po mas kailangan natin naging mindful sa loob ng bahay, sa ating workplace, at kailangan i-check natin ang lahat na walang magiging sanhi para magkaroon po ng sunog. Oras natin, alas 7:36 ng umaga, Bin, at yan ang ating mga balita para sa araw na ito. Magbe-break tayo sandali, pero wag po kayong bibitaw dahil sa ating pagbabalik ay makakasama po natin si Sir Rovic Jan Eslao para pag-usapan ang Charter City Day ng Zamboanga at para makilala kung sino ba ito si Artilim. Kami po ang inyong mga lingkod, Sara May Tulabing.
At ang inyong kabarangay, Robin Soling. Magbabalik ang oras na Zambasulta dito lang sa 1116 DXAS.
Radyo,
Komunidad.
Komunidad.
Hear what happens when lives encounter the transformative message of Jesus Christ on air, online, and on the ground. Here is FEBC Philippines Chief Executive Officer Luis Miguel Castillo for the FEBC Report.
Hello everyone, I'm Lucho Castillo and welcome to the FEBC Report. FEBC Philippines is a gospel media ministry with 13 stations all over the Philippines. In today's conversation, we have Pastor Alex Gunay, our station manager for 1062 DXKI, Coronadal, South Cotabato. Hi, Pastor Alex. It's good to see you again.
Hello, Kuya Lucho. It's good to see you also.
You know, Pastor Alex, I enjoyed my time there last December as we celebrated 61 years of DXKI serving the people in Coronadal, South Cotabato. Back in 1964, as the station started by God's faithfulness, and where it is now, how can you see God's hand in the journey of the station?
The fact that the XKI is still here after 61 years, it's already a testament of God's faithfulness sa buhay ng istasyon. Ang mission natin ay nagpapatuloy in spite of a time when resources was limited. The future was uncertain sa mga panahong yon dahil nga masyadong limitado ang ating operation. But over the decades, South Cotabato has changed and communities have grown. Cultures have shifted and technology has advanced. Makikita natin na DXKI is still here and has remained faithful to its calling. Maganda yung title na kauna-unahang regional station ng Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines. Pero mas magandang isipin na after 61 years, it still stand strong because of God's faithfulness sa buhay ng istasyon. Yun ang consistency na nakikita ko over the generation, and it is not accidental. It tells us that God has been the one carrying the ministry forward, providing the people, providing the partners, the protection, and yung purpose natin, each step of the way.
Oh, thank you, Pastor Alex. I think when we celebrated the anniversary, we heard our partners carry this pride of being part of the station in producing programs, in conveying the message of God's faithfulness to different people groups there. Sabi nga nila, DXKI was like the town crier, no? Siya nag-a-announce, siya nag-mobilize sa tao, siya naghahatid ng balita, siya ang nag-i-encourage sa kanila. And the station is called Your Friendly Voice. What does it mean to the people of South Cotabato today that you are the friendly voice there?
Ibig sabihin ng friendly voice, ang istasyon natin ay approachable. It's a trustworthy station, and for many listeners, personal ang dating sa kanila dahil sabi nga nila, the station for them speaks gently and truthfully every day. In times that when people are overwhelmed sa mga bad news, mga pressure, mga loneliness, mga mental issues, DXKI offers something that is different, a voice that is willing to listen, to encourage, and to remind people that there is a God who is always present. Para naman sa mga farmers, mga workers, mga parents, mga elderly, and even the young, it is a familiar and comforting and consistent voice na kanilang naririnig araw-araw. And it's the kind of voice that you can carry all day. And more importantly, that voice comes from the Lord.
I often hear this term, no, when I'm there with you, yung migo, miga. Can you explain that and how that defines that your friendly voice?
Yung address natin sa each staff, habang nag-uusap sila on air, we agreed na i-precede natin ng term na migo or miga. It simply means friend. Pag kami ay nasa labas, nakikita kami ng mga listeners, ganito na rin ang tawag sa amin. Miga Joy, Miga Jen, gano'n. Dahil nakasanayan na nila.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Pastor Alex. You know, being a gospel media ministry, the importance of creating an impact to the community is why we do the broadcast. Can you share an impact story, a life change story that clearly shows that DXKI has become a place of refuge on air, a safe space for people to come together?
Actually, napakaraming story. At one example is yung kay Ed at saka kay Janet, katakutan. She is often alone at home kasi nga working yung husband. Nagiging daily spiritual refuge niya ang DXKI. Sabi nga niya, pag naka-on yung radio, it feels that she has a companion sa kanilang bahay. Yung mga naririnig niya mga sermon, mga music, mga Bible-based programs, nagbibigay ng kalakasan sa kanya. It strengthens her faith, guides her decisions as a mother, and brings comfort during times of uncertainty and even during times of illness. May mga panahon na may sakit sila and sinishare talaga nila na, oy, ito yung nararamdaman ko ngayon, mahinang-mahina, pero salamat, nandyan kayo. And as a couple, si Ed saka si Janet naka-experience kung paano na tinulungan talaga sila ng DXKI na ma-renew at ma-strengthen ang kanilang marriage bilang mag-asawa during difficult seasons. The Lord is using those messages that they hear on the station to bring a clarity, encouragement, and healing sa kanilang relationship. Kung paano ng DXKI is more than just a broadcast. DXKI has become a refuge, a safe place, a companion sa kanilang pamamahay where they find hope, direction, and God's presence, especially during the times when life feels overwhelming and heavy.
Okay, wow. That's just one story, of many, I'm sure, where the station and its message of communicating Christ, over the airwaves have made a significant impact in the lives of people who hear the message. How has DXKI learned to serve a very, very diverse audience and still staying true to our gospel mission?
Tama yun, Kuya Lucho, Napakaraming mga kultura dito sa South Cotabato. Over the years, DXKI has served this diverse audience by remaining grounded sa salita ng Panginoon, but at the same time, being sensitive sa pinagsisilbihan nating community. DXKI communicates the gospel with humility, with respect, and love, while pointing everyone that we have hope in God, we have hope in the Lord. By addressing real-life issues and community concern, DXKI builds trust in the community that it serves dito sa South Central Mindanao, and through that trust, the gospel continues to reach the hearts of many people without compromise.
Wow, that's good to hear. You truly have shared that you understand the people that you serve. You listen to them, you connect with them, you engage with them, and therefore we are able to build this partnership. We walk with them throughout the years that we serve there in Cotabato. 61 years might be, wow, that's 6 decades. But the road ahead, there's still more that the Lord is asking us to continue doing, in our gospel media ministry. So for you, as you look ahead, what is your prayer for our ministry there, for the station, and for the people that we serve and reach every day?
Ang prayer ko sa DXKI is that the station will continue to be faithful and to be a voice for the Lord Jesus Christ in the years ahead. Yun naman ang ating pinakamisyon, until all have heard. And more than anything, I pray that DXKI will reach more homes and more individuals who need hope, especially to those who feel that they were forgotten and feel that they are alone in their struggles. And may many more families one day look back and say, ginamit ng Panginoon ang DXKI to bring His Word into our lives and to change our story.
You know, Pastor Alex, in your 38 years of serving in FEBC, when you look back at that, that's a lot of years serving the Lord. But when I look at you, I see the freshness, the joy of each day that you go and be with our team there in Coronadal. What can make you say that lahat nito ay all worth it? 38 years of serving.
You are not just a worker dito sa DXKI, but it permeates your life long after na wala ka na dito sa DXKI. Parang wala ka na nandito pa rin. Naging training ground mo ang DXKI. It has become your seminary, it has become your wilderness, it has become your refuge, and long after your life, sa pagkatapos ng service mo sa DXKI, madadala mo yun lahat.
Thank you, Pastor Alex. You are a living testament of how the Lord moves. I had a wonderful time with Pastor Alex Gunay, our station manager at DXKI, Coronadal, South Cotabato. In these heart-to-heart talks, we really see how God is moving, drawing out the truths in the life of the station, in the community, and in the life of people serving in the gospel media ministry. Pastor Alex came to FEBC not knowing the Lord, and now here he is, for almost 4 decades after, serving faithfully. And that's the takeaway. God is faithful. 61 years, 38 years, the life of Ed and Janet Katakutan, the impact of the programs, and the seasons to come where God will continually move in reaching the hearts of people. Thank you very much for joining us in the FEBC report. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for walking with us. And so, take care, abide in Christ, and see you next time in the FEBC report.
That was the FEBC report. Stay up to date and join the conversation online by subscribing to the FEBC Philippines channel on YouTube and following FEBC PH on Facebook. Learn how to partner in the work of communicating Christ in our world by visiting febc.ph/give. Thank you for your support in the ministry. Until all have heard.
Basulta.
Lik, ang oras na Zambasulta, kayo pa rin po ay nakikinig sa 1116 DXAS, your community radio. Muli, ako po ang inyong lingkod, si Sara May Tulabing. Ang DXAS ay isa sa mga himpilan ng Far East Broadcasting Company at kasapi sa kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Ang FEBC po ay isang non-profit, non-commercial at donor-based radio station. At dahil sa katapatan ng Diyos at sa inyong partnership, tayo ay nagpapatuloy sa paghahatid ng mabuting balita ni Kristo. Inaanyayahan namin kayong maging bahagi ng ating radio ministry. Pwede niyong iscan ang ating QR code o kaya ay mag-deposit sa ating bank accounts para sa inyong donasyon. At para ma-acknowledge namin ang inyong donation, ay magpadala po kayo ng mensahe sa amin. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong partnership at God bless.
Ngayon sa kasaysayan.
Ngayong araw ng Thursday, pag-uusapan po natin ang dalawa sa mahalagang kaganapan dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula. At pag-uusapan po, alam nyo po ba, syempre alam na natin dahil meron din activity ang ating city government. Ngayon po ay Dia de Zamboanga. At ipapasok na rin natin dito ang tungkol sa kwento ni Artie Lim. Ano nga ba itong Artie Lim? May kaugnayan ba dito yung pangalang Artie Lim Boulevard at yung Artie Lim dito banda sa May Tungawan? Malalaman po natin lahat yan at excited tayong malaman ano ang kwento dyan. Kasama po natin ngayon muli ang ating historian from Ateneo de Zamboanga University and founder ng La Liga Historia Zamboangueña, Sir Rovic Jan Eslao. Sir Rovic, welcome back.
Yes, so thank you for having me back. Salamat na nag-record ulit.
Yeah. Sige po. Sir Rovic, Dia de Zamboanga, Paano po ito
Ngayon, di ba?
nagsimula? Opo, pwede niyo po ba muna ilarawan, ikwento sa amin bago ang Dia de Zamboanga? Ano ba dati ang Zamboanga?
Okay. Depende sa tanong mo, no? Paano ko siya isagot? Kung dati pa. Sige, ito na. Diretso ko na lang. Ngayon, February 26, 89 years ago, no, 1937, na inaugurate po ang ating syudad bilang isang chartered city. February 26, 1937, Zamboanga City became an independent city, no? Or chartered city kumbaga. So anong tong chartered city ate, no? Dati kasi nung Commonwealth period ito Commonwealth period ito. Syempre may mga provinces na. No? Pero meron din mga potential cities na sinasabing highly urbanized, no, or may potential na maging a metropolis. So isa tayo doon, ang Zamboanga. Kaya nung 1936, October 12, nilagdaan po ni Pangulong Quezon ang batas Batas Commonwealth bilang 39, no? 39, no? Act number 39 na ginawang na may charter. Kasi charter parang batas ba na itong lugar na to maging city. So, dati kasi dalawa lang ang level ng government sa baba ng national. May national government, tapos may provincial government. Tapos may cities. Pero yung cities, dati, hindi under sa province. Equal siya sa province. So, to be honest, to be technical, nung ginawang batas na yun, Zamboanga was independent of the Zamboanga province. Kasi wala pang Del Norte pa ni Del Sur, ate, dati. Zamboanga province pa siya. Yan, from Dapitan, Pagadian, pababa. Pero nung 1936, October 12, nilagdaan ni Pangulong Quezon, tinanggal niya po ang Zamboanga sa hawak ng Zamboanga province. Pero, yung mapa o yung gaano kalaki ang Zamboanga City, tatlo yun. Ang municipality ng Zamboanga, municipality ng Bolong, so yung barangay Bolong, dating munisipyo. Kasi gusto ko pa yung i-investigate ano yung mukha dati ng Bolong as a municipality. Tapos ang Basilan. The entire Basilan Island, the province, ngayon, was under Zamboanga City. So, at some point, ate, we have been the largest city in the world
Yes, nabasa ko
by
yan.
land area. Land
Oo.
area lang. Pero, to be honest, ate, I don't see it as a, as pride, for being proud of. Kasi, land area, land area, pero anong epekto nun? Ang try to point out dito was si Quezon si Pangulong Quezon trying to spur up economic activity. Nagpagawa siya ng mga cities all around, Cebu City, Iloilo City, Davao City, Zamboanga City, to spur economic activity. Kasi ito, kung independent ka ng province, you don't need to pay your taxes sa province, diretso sa national. Tapos, yung mayor ng Zamboanga, hindi na siya magre-report sa province as a governor ng Zamboanga province. Diretso sa Pangulo ng Pilipinas. So, just to one point, can I share my PowerPoint?
Yes, sige po.
Okay. So, at some point, ate, when we became a city on February 26, so yung national structure would be like this. So, may executive, presidente, and then legislative, senate, and house.
Wala na yung prime minister.
Wala pa ang prime minister. Wala pa sa 1973 yun.
Okay.
Ito 1937
1937.
Pero may mali lang ako dito. Actually, 6 years yung presidente, pati isang National Assembly. Pero that's not the point. My point here is, yung sa atin, sa executive, sa local, may mayor.
Yes.
Pero ate, especially to our listeners, wala po tayong vice mayor this time when we became a city. So our legislative branch, of course, is the council. And ang presiding officer, di ba ngayon, ang vice mayor, yung naga-lead, no?
Yes.
Pero dati hindi. Ang presiding officer ng council ay ang mayor. And sino-sino ang members ng council? There were 3 councilors that are elected by the people. The city engineer, the city treasurer, and 2 councilors that are appointed by, any guess ate, sino kaya nag-appoint ng councilors?
Mayor pa rin?
Hindi.
Sino?
Ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Okay.
So we don't elect our mayor. Our mayor is appointed
that
by the
time.
President of the Philippines. Yes po ate.
Oh.
Ganon po ka powerful ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Sa councilor lang tayo pwedeng mag-elect.
Yes.
Pero tatlo lang that time.
Yes, tatlo lang. No, so tatlo, ang 4 out of technically 8 members ang council. Si mayor, si city engineer, city treasurer, pati councilors are appointed by the president. So the president has really as general supervision and administration of Zamboanga City. So there are like parang paborito nga ng hindi man paborito. Well, palaging pinupuntahan ni Quezon ang Zamboanga. Well, there were photos. I don't have the photos with me now, but soon if sa next natin, we talk about Quezon, baka pwede ko ipakita. So yung point naman ni Quezon that time, or at least ng administration niya, is to spur economic activity around the region, because Zamboanga City has the potential to be a great economic powerhouse in the region. No, that's where we're strategic location in terms of trading routes. So yun yung purpose na dineclare tayo ng as a chartered city. Hindi tayo municipality kasi gano'n yung rank municipality o city, gano'n. Pero gusto ko lang point out din ate, no? I'll stop sharing na at some point during the American period, we were once a city at some point. So just to point out lang, no, na when the Americans came here, we became the capital of the Moro province in 1903. So however, itong Moro province na to, yun yung city hall natin ngayon. Yan yung provincial capital ng Moro province. Hindi siya city hall. So yung municipal hall natin, kasi municipality pa tayo dyan, nandun sa police station. Doon sa may Magay. Sa Magay.
11.
Oh yeah, police station 11. Yan yung municipal hall ng Zamboanga. Tapos around during this time, hindi tayo under sa national government. We are a separate autonomous province under the administration of the U.S. Army. So yung governors ng Moro province are not civilians, but are generals. That's why we have General Leonard Wood as our first governor. May General Wood Street tayo dyan, paradahan ng Tugmungan, if I'm not mistaken. Tapos, the last governor was Governor Pershing. That's why we have Plaza Pershing. So si General John Blackjack Pershing, future hero of World War I for the Americans. So naging governor po siya ng Moro province. And during his administration, kasi may potential nga ang Zamboanga maging city. So yung province ay Moro province, hindi lang yung Zamboanga. Kasali ang Lanao, Cotabato, Davao, Sulu. So the entire Mindanao, not the entire, major parts of Mindanao, Zamboanga po yung capital. So we have been in the ewan ko ngayon bakit hindi na tayo ang major city, kasi Davao na ngayon, di ba? Parang yan yung pero before, if you talk about Mindanao, Zamboanga ang primary city or primary town. So when in 1911 at some point, si Pershing, may potential ang Zamboanga. So ginawang city ang Zamboanga. 1912 pa lang, as early as 1912. So actually, God willing, no, please pray for me. I'll be writing an article about it. Kasi we were once a city at some point. So pero yung city this time ate, hindi siya mayor. Mayor siya pero there were 3 commissioners, city commissioners. So one mayor among those city commissioners, tapos it's a system sa US na may commission, may police commissioner, may fire, parang ganun ba. So hindi pa ako tapos sa research ko. Pero our first mayor was a foreigner, si Christopher Frederick Bader. And then Bader, I think, served for 2 years. He was succeeded by a Zamboangueño, si Victoriano Tarosa. Tapos 1914 na-stop po yun siya kasi na-dissolve ang Moro Province. Di ba sabi ko, sino yung head kanina? Mga generals, no? US Army. Around 1914, it was, the Moro Province was converted to civilian control. So from military control, nilipat siya civilian control, naging Department of Mindanao and Sulu. This time, nagkaroon na ng Zamboanga Province. So because binalik ang napunta sa civilian control, na-demote po ang Zamboanga City to a municipality ulit. So nawala ang status natin being a city. So yung mayor that time, hindi mayor ang tawag, municipal president.
Okay.
Presidente municipal.
Oo, ngayon
So si Tarosa is
mayor.
one. Hindi mayor, presidente municipal.
Mhm.
So si Tarosa yung first municipal president.
Ay, sorry.
You're familiar with some others. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the streets here. Crispin Atilano Street
Yes.
sa Tetuan.
Oo.
Crispin Atilano was a former municipal mayor. Meron pa Aurelio Saavedra, if I'm not mistaken, ang Saavedra Street sa Santa Maria is named after that municipal president. Si Aurelio. I'm not sure with A ba. Basta Saavedra Street. Diyan sa may Santa Maria. Meron pa ba? Yeah, I forgot the rest, no. Wala akong PowerPoint pero kasi I'm still fixing it, no. Pero yung si Bader, di ba foreigner siya? I happened to found his tomb or tumba, resting place dun sa Alliance Cemetery sa Santa Maria. Or Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz, yes. So I was hunting for them actually. I think I got bored at some point nung January. Sabi, sige, let's find mga dead people dito. So cemetery hunting ako. So doon sa Alliance Cemetery, marami doon mga hidden tombs ate. Not tombs, sorry. Ano sa term? Not siya tombs.
Yung nicho?
Yung plaque ba? Ha?
Yung lapida.
Nicho, yes, nicho. That's the term. Okay. Yeah. Iba kasi ang tomb, no? Like like Jesus na sa cave. Hindi naman. Not like that, guys. Walang tomb doon sa Alliance Cemetery. Yung nicho nga, anong tawag nicho sa English ba? Basta yun, nicho, no? So marami akong nakita doon. Bader was there. Naka-tiles yung niya. I think based on the caretaker doon, may mga families, family relatives goes at some point, no? To the place. So Bader was there, like, wow, this was the first mayor or the first mayor of Zamboanga, buried, no? Of course, since he's an American, I'm not sure if American ba siya or basta most likely American. He was buried there because it's an American cemetery, or Protestant cemetery dun sa Santa Cruz. So, pero yun parang na-dilapidated state na siya kasi it's hidden nga, no? Mas marami doon mga soldiers no? Mga American soldiers na were buried, pero some of the plaques, ano ba tawag dyan?
Yung lapida?
Lapida, yeah, sorry, that's the term. Lapida, hindi na makita, no? It's faded na. So, yun, I just like to point that out, no, na we have a substantial American population during this time. But going back to the city, we were a municipality again. After 1914, until when the Commonwealth of the Philippines became the Commonwealth, no, in 1935. So si Quezon had been to spur economic activity. They were building cities nga, you know. So one of them is Zamboanga. So on October 12, Fiesta Pilar.
Yes.
1936, he signed the Commonwealth Act number 39.
39.
So it became the chartered city of Zamboanga. To create the charter, no? So we have our own seal, we have our own government, we're independent from the province. So this time nilipat na yung capital ng Zamboanga from Zamboanga City to Dipolog. So nilipat na doon. Pero ito Zamboanga City pa rin. Tapos ito yung something na search ko so far no, when I was doing some research. So at some point, ang original palang date ng Dia de Zamboanga or at least original date ng inauguration was supposed to be on January, not February. Kasi diba October, no? October. Tapos it was originally scheduled January. But there were delays. First, nagka-tuberculosis si Quezon kasi gusto niyang umattend ng inauguration. So, he had to recuperate, so na-delayed to another week last week ng January. Tapos parang may trip. May another trip nangyari. I forgot. Again, I have yet to finalize my research. Basta na-settle siya to February 26. So, but that was not the original intention. It was supposed to be January daw. Kasi nga to have Quezon. But, ang nangyari din, ang ending sa 26, wala si Quezon. It was Quirino. Elpidio Quirino, the Secretary of the Interior, nag-represent to inaugurate the city of Zamboanga. So actually, that's the reason why we have Dia de Zamboanga. Actually, that's for me, no. That could not be the again from a historian's perspective. I believe na hindi siya but Dia de Zamboanga name. It should also be the Charter Day of Zamboanga. Kasi if you say Dia de Zamboanga, anong meaning ng Dia? Is it the birth? Kasi if the birth, we can trace it to June 23, 1635, the day when Fort Pilar's cornerstones were laid, which became the genesis or the urban genesis of Zamboanga, the beginning. So baka yun pa yung Dia, no? But since yan naman yung popular, no, Dia de Zamboanga. But the more formal title for the day is the Charter Day of Zamboanga, because that was the inauguration of the city of Zamboanga.
Yun. At least na may konting...
I hope na-explain ko yung bakit 26.
Oo, at nalinaw natin ang pinagkaiba pag Dia de Zamboanga lang at chartered. Pero ano pong nangyari sa city nung after ng 26? So, paano? Nag-boom na ba tayo? Umunlad na ba tayo?
I cannot say yet, the specific economic activities, no. But of course, in terms of political, I can say na So we had our first mayor at the time was Nicasio Valderosa. Kaya yung Valderosa Street sa harap ng City Hall. So siya yung first mayor, no. Followed by he was assigned to another city. Valderosa kasi was known to be a first mayors. He became mayor of Baguio, mayor of Davao, and mayor of Basilan. So mga first mayors yan siya. So mayroon yan siyang reputation na he starts cities, parang ganun. So when he was transferred to Baguio, I'm not sure if Baguio ba yung 1939. Ang pumalit sa kanya si Pablo Lorenzo. Lolo ni Celso Lobregat, tatay ni Maria Clara. So si Pablo Lorenzo became mayor. Tapos I think 1 year lang siya nag-serve, if I'm not mistaken. Pumalit sa kanya si Agustin Alvarez. So we were, tapos at some point nung World War II, na-demote tayo ulit from a city to a municipality during the Japanese regime. When independence returned, mayor ulit, city ulit, ang Zamboanga. Until 1955 I think 1955 would be the milestone, we elect mayors now. As early
hindi na appointed.
Hindi na siya appointed. So the first elected mayor was Cesar Climaco. Then na lang make sense na. So diyan na yung nag-start. No? So as a city, no, syempre we had the reputation of being a community that or a city in southern Philippines, no. We have been known that, and we have been the center, of course, let's say of not necessarily of conflicts and discussions, for example, the Moro Rebellion, dito yung headquarters ng autonomous government. The regional autonomous government, tapos the Lupong tagapagpaganap ng Puok. Yung headquarters noon nandun sa Kabatangan, yung Kabatangan Complex. So kung may BARM ngayon, meron ding BARM dati, pero ang capital Zamboanga. Pero yun lang, walang consent ng people. Pagdating ng plebiscite, we voted no to BARM. So we did not join the autonomous region. So again, in terms of the history of the city, I just like to single out lang the reason why we became why February 26, because it was the day when the officials of the city were inaugurated, and we became officially the city of Zamboanga.
Puntahan naman po natin itong si RT Lim.
Ayun.
Ano pong background nitong si RT Lim?
Sige. So for everyone to bakit ni-mention si RT Lim at sino yan? Na-mention mo kanina, 'di ba? Boulevard or yung sa Tungawan.
Municipal ba yan? Municipality ata yan?
Yeah, after Tungawan, if you're going to Ipil, after Tungawan is RT Lim, tapos Ipil na ulit. So ano ba yan? Tao ba yan? Or bagay? Of course, he's a person, no? He's Roselier Tarosa Lim.
Tarosa.
So bakit siya discuss natin nga? Kasi nung February 9 po, birthday niya. And the city government commemorated his birth anniversary. So mag-share naman ako ng PowerPoint, ha?
Yes.
So ito yung I gave a lecture during his birth anniversary. Actually, I'm thankful, no, in front of his family. I was able to deliver this lecture. So Ken si RT Lim. So I'm also a member of JCI Zamboanga. Shout out to my brothers in JCI Zamboanga chapter. So I thank them for giving me the opportunity to give this lecture, because they sponsored the FOZIL awarding, if you are familiar with that, the 5 outstanding Zamboanga youth or young leaders. No? So these are given to 5 exceptional Zamboangueños who excelled in community engagement, in leadership, etc. And then in memory of Senator Roselier Lim. Okay. So first things first, just to put is in context. So Filipino politicians switch parties with ease, betrayals and divisions are part of the game, and popularity slowly evolves as a factor during elections. In the middle of all this was Roselier Tarosa Lim. So ito po siya, tao po siya, guys. So he's a Zamboangueño, but let's find out who he is. Why is he being commemorated? So di ba nalala mo recently, di ba they were news to replace Tito Soto as Senate President. Yung si Loren Legarda, no?
Yes.
Sana, pero hindi natuloy yun. Ganon din dati. 1963, there was an election for the new Senate President. The incumbent, the Tito Soto of this time, was Eulogio Rodriguez. So, nationalista po siya, no? So, dalawa pong parties before lang. Nationalista, pati liberal. So, yung kalaban niya, guess mo. Any guess, ate, na national leader during this time?
Sino?
Sinong kalaban ni Rodriguez? Kilala mo yan? Napag-usapan din natin yan siya before.
Wag na, si Enrile.
Hindi, wala, hindi. No. Next. Another one.
Sino?
Guess lang. Ha, ano?
Yung batch niya, no? Dapat batch. Sino?
Batch niya.
Sila Laurel?
No. Pass. Next.
Ano na? Sirit.
Kilala mo, napag-usapan na natin siya. Si Marcos.
Talaga?
Yes. Senator pa si Marcos this time. Senior, ha? Senior. Tapos, liberal siya. So, dilawan po si Marcos dati. So, kalaban po siya ni Rodriguez. Now, during this election, parang may alam na sino ang boboto. Si Marcos, meron siyang 12 sure votes. Si Rodriguez, 11. Ang kulang isa. 24 yan sila lahat. So, sino yung isa? Sino yung kulang? Si Alejandro Almendras taga Davao, isang nationalista. Pero hindi siya makaboto kasi nasa US pa siya. So, syempre, anong party ni Almendras, di ba? Nationalista. So, dapat iboboto niya si Almendras. Kung iboboto niya si Almendras, 12-12, talo si Marcos. Kasi tie. So yun yung kailangan na dapat hintayin si Almendras pero hindi na pwede kasi maboboto na, may motion na. And then kung mag-motion na, panalo na si Marcos.
Oo.
So syempre, ang mga nationalistas, may kailangan tayong gawin. Kailangan natin i-delay ang election, hintayin si Almendras pa uwi. So may isa nag-volunteer, sige, mag-filibuster ako. Yung filibuster, it's a procedure in the Senate to delay the vote. And guess who volunteered? Of course, our guy, si Artie Lim. He volunteered to delay the election to wait for Almendras.
Ano ang posisyon niya dati?
Senator. He's a senator.
Senator na siya.
Senator na siya, si Artie
So,
Lim.
wala pa siyang local position before nag-senator or meron na?
Congressman siya dati.
Oh.
Wala siyang local positions. Congressman siya agad, pati senator.
Oh.
Anyways, so during the session, he stood there for 18 hours and 30 minutes. He stood there talking with just a glass of water nearby to sustain him. He was allowed to take only water, but was prohibited from going to the CR. He had to relieve himself in his pants. Imagine. Mag-ihi na siya sa pants niya. Kasi hindi siya pwedeng umalis. Kasi kung alis siya, tapos ng filibuster, mag-vote na, panalo na si Marcos. Again, they're waiting for Almendras to come home. Kaya he has to wait there. He has to stand guard sa floor to wait for Almendras.
Grabe, no?
Kaya pagdating ni Almendras, tinapos na ni Lim ang filibuster, he was brought to the hospital.
Oh.
Okay. And guess what happened, ate? Ano nangyari? When Almendras returned, sinong binoto niya?
Sino?
Si Marcos. So,
Paano
Marcos won as Senate President. Almendras was branded as a traitor by his party mates. Kasi ano pang ginawa ni Lim? Useless lang siya mag-filibuster, no? Pero sinabi man niya sa kanyang wife, he had fought for what in his conscience was right. He had no regrets. Pero may rumor accordingly, may rumor lang naman, that Marcos has paid for Almenda's trip to the US. So, may mga ganong So, yun. At the Middle East is Artie Lim. So, sino si Artie Lim? So, he was born in Recodo on February 9. That's why we will talk about him this month. No? He had been a student in Pilar, in Baliwasan Elementary School, and even in Ateneo. Zamboanga. He was one of our first high school graduates. No? He taught also in the elementary, and he took Bachelor of Laws at Siliman. And he had already served as an athlete, orator, debater, and dramatic club member. He had been a gold medalist in both schools, and he became dean of the College of Law of the AE colleges. He had passed the bar in the late 30s. He practiced law after it. He was acting provincial fiscal of Zamboanga and was the organizer, first president, and legal advisor of the Mindanao Federation of Labor. He had been member of different clubs, including JCs, mga JCI. He was a member of the Nationalista Party, had been congressman for Zamboanga, and was instrumental to the passage of the Minimum Wage Law, Magna Carta of Labor, Social Security Act, the division of Zamboanga del Norte and Zamboanga del Sur. Kaya pinangalang yung municipality doon sa Sibugay after him in recognition of his contributions. And yung La Purísima Street, siya po nagpangalan to a law. So he had been members of different house committees, pero naging chairman siya ng House Committee on Labor. So I need to emphasize nung labor. He's a labor advocate. Then he was elected to the Senate in 1955 and won a full term in 1957. Naging chairman siya ng Senate Committee on Labor and the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. So very important yung Blue Ribbon Committee because that's the committee that investigates corruption.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had been head of the Philippine delegation to the International Labor Organization Conference. So very labor rights activist to si Artie Lim. Now, in the 1963 elections, the same election na nanalo si Marcos as Senate President, dalawang Zamboangueño ang tumakbo for the Senate. Si Cesar Climaco and si Artie Lim. So si Climaco dito, ewan ko kung stress ba si Arte Lim kay Climaco? Nagsalita si Climaco tapos si Arte Lim ganyan siya, no? Oh. So, they were from different parties, but they're both Zamboangueños.
Mhm.
And sad ate, they did not make it.
Ah.
Hanggang top 8 lang kasi kinukuha.
Oh.
Tapos both sila top 9 and 10.
10.
Na. Sayang talaga. So this was the last time we had a Zamboangueño in the Senate. Tapos 2 years later, si Macapagal, he was the president, di ba, that time. He had defections in his own party. His own vice president opposed him. Uy, familiar?
Oh, repeat.
So, yung vice president niya, yung nasa left, si Pelaez. Tapos kasama niya si Marcos. Both of them, vice president and senate president, left liberals and joined the Nacionalista. Both of them are seeking the nomination to be president. And guess, of course, sino nanalo? Siyempre, si Marcos. Si Pelaez, nag-run na lang siya for Congress. So, bye-bye, Pelaez. So, si Marcos naging presidential nominee. And of course, in this election, guess who won? Marcos. Dito naging presidente si Marcos. Kaya nga, to be honest, very, very, parang what ifs to eh. What if si Almendras nagboto kay Rodriguez? Eh di si Marcos hindi naging Senate President. Kung hindi siya naging Senate President, siguro hindi siya tatakbo presidente. So may mga ganun. No? May mga crossroads in history. So, this time si Lim, tumakbo siya the next election, not as a nationalista, but as a liberal. If you look at this photo, kasama niya si Ninoy Aquino. And then he got only top 16. Layong-layo sa 8. Pansinin mo dyan, sino kasama? Sino nanalo? Si Ninoy Aquino. Si Doy Laurel nandyan. Yung kanina, napag-usapan natin nung sa about si Doy Laurel. Senator siya dito. Pero si Arte Lim, sayang. Hindi niya nakuha. Top 16 lang siya. Now, I like to point out dito na hindi dito nagtatapos ang career ni Arte Lim. Si Arte Lim, naging delegado sa 1971 Constitutional Convention representing Zamboanga del Sur to talk about the 1973 Constitution. And do you know that at some point in the convention, he proposed that Chavacano should be the Philippine national language. So mga de Chavacano alino, na mira ustedes aquí na si Arte Lim, un Zamboangueño, ya dale idea na Constitutional Convention ase el Chavacano, el lenguaje nacional de Pilipinas. So let's read that, no? Dito yung sinabi niya. Quote, "You know, I would like to tell you that if you spoke Chavacano in South American countries, including Spain, you would be understood. But if you spoke Tagalog or Ilocano, you would not be understood at all. And I would like to explain why Chavacano should be the national language. Because it is very simple. Filipinos should be able to learn Chavacano in 6 months. Nate, in 6 months lang dati. And all of us should be speaking Chavacano. It has no case, no time, no gender, no tense." Of course, you will read that lang later on. Pero the bottom line, of course, it did not win. Of course, Filipino naging national language natin. But you can see here that he fought for Chavacano as a national language. So later on, he would be appointed to the Court of Appeals in 1973 and serve until his death in 1976. So, last February 9, as you can see here, so ito yung, I gave the same lecture to the audience there, Dia de Rosalier Tilim. And ako po yan, in his monument, tama ba? Makita ba yung monument? Yeah, that monument there, I was with the ROTC cadets of Ateneo de Zamboanga because Atenista din si Arte Lim. So we organized this na we Ateneans are involved in commemorating his legacy. So again, I thank JCI Zamboanga, my brothers, and of course the city government of Zamboanga for giving me this opportunity to lead the commemoration rites for Arte Lim. So Ken si Arte Lim. I like to end this with this let's wrap this up. So I would say he's a labor rights activist and leader. As you can see, his advocacies. He's a legendary legislator. He had authored numerous laws. He's the great filibuster for 18 hours and
Yes.
30 minutes. He stood there. My goodness. And people call him in Chabacano El Gallo Sulangkang,
Mhm.
a rooster that never backs out from a fight. You know, guess why rooster? Because he looks like one. You can see there his white hair here represents the one like the rooster.
Mm.
And of course, un Sambongenyo. So I think I can end here by checking my references. So yun natin. That's Artie Lim.
Mhm. So, Sir Rovic, ano po kaya yung dapat na matutunan ng ating mga henerasyon ngayon, lalo na dito sa Zamboanga, doon sa storya ng Dia de Zamboanga at ito ni Artie Lim? Ano yung kung may wisdom man, ano po?
The wisdom is there. There are so many stories, even the local level. Kasi people don't talk about this often because we all talk about national politics, ano nangyayari sa Manila, pero meron din nangyayari sa Zamboanga. Yung mas malapit sa bahay niyo, mas malapit sa community niyo. So ito, Dia de Zamboanga, nangyari sa Zamboanga. Artie Lim, taga Zamboanga, pero ang kanyang legacy, national. So, para sa lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig, hindi dapat tayong magtingin sa labas. No? Let's look in ourselves, in Zamboanga. And what can we do? What are we capable of? If Artie Lim can do those things as a Zamboangueño, how much more tayo? Especially we have the different tools that we can be better with ourselves. So let us be inspired that as Zamboangueños like us can be on the national scale. And ang Dia de Zamboanga, it's helped us to create our identity. We exist as a community. We exist as a city that where we can be proud of, where we can belong to. And I think itong gusto ko din itanong sa iyo siguro pati sa ating mga tagapakinig. Ano ba talaga ang isang Zamboangueño? Ang isang Zamboangueño ba ay marunong magtsabakano lang ba? O na pinanganak lang sa Zamboanga, Zamboangueño na ba siya? Or lumaki lang ba siya dito, Zamboangueño na ba siya? Actually, ito hindi ko pa rin masagot ate. Pero itong gusto kong ilahad sa ating mga tagapakinig. Ano ba talagang isang Zamboangueño? I think yun ang gusto kong ipano. One question that will stay there. It's not meant to be answered, but it meant to create discussions.
Oo. Ako naman, lalo na dun sa mga matatalino, may integrity, magandang reputation, i-maximize nyo po yung talents niyo. Di ba?
Exactly.
Kung pwede nyo, pwede, like pa kanina, kahapon, hindi rin kahapon, edit ko lang yan. Nung last time nung nag-uusap tayo, as a Christian, may debate kung dapat ka ba ma-involve sa politics o hindi.
Yun.
Kaya naman bilang Zamboangueño, hanggang dito na lang ba tayo? Baka pwede tayo mag-represent, di ba? At maging...
Baka sa ating mga listeners ate, may tatakbo for the Senate.
Yes.
Susunod kay Artie Lim. Mga ganun ba?
Oo.
Kasi ang sinabi ko sa lecture ko, huwag nyo sabihin na first and only Zamboangueño. Sabihin nyo, first and only Zamboangueño so far. Kasi what if may susunod? So, yun, again, especially to our Zamboangueños are there, kung Christian ka man or Muslim, let us not only limit ourselves here in Zamboanga. We can do many things. Let's contribute to nation building. We have so much opportunities out there. Although some of the systems may fail us, of course, the idea of being a Zamboangueño, hopefully we can have that answer. Ano ba talaga ang being Zamboangueño? Let's answer it together as a community.
Yes, ayan. Naku, maraming salamat Sir Rovic. Ang laking challenge niya, no? At siguro yung tatamaan niyan, we are praying for you po na hopefully one day ay maging part ka ng national, hindi para maging boastful or maging prideful, pero to represent Zamboanga City.
To represent, to bring our voices up there in the decision making.
Correct. Ayan. Sir Rovic, maraming salamat po sa wisdom na inyong binigay dito sa amin. Ang next month po ulit, March, for sure may mga pag-uusapan po tayo.
Meron yan.
Yes, abangan po natin yan. Maraming salamat po sa ating regular guest, Mr. Rovic Jan Eslao.
Thank you, ate. Thank you sa lahat sa mga listeners.
Ayan.
Shout out to Kuya Noli. Kuya Noli, hello.
Aguilar?
Yes.
Oo, nakikinig po yan sa atin
Kinig yan.
lagi. Ayan, maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng ating radio technician, Rolando Alfonso, Romel Paulino. Abangan nyo po ang susunod na programang Serbisyong OFW Family Matters at Radyo Sincoman. Magkarinigan po tayo muli dito alas 7 ng umaga, Monday to Friday. Ako po si Sara Mito Labing. Nagpapaalalang posible ang pagbangon at pagbabago. Tayo po ay maging bahagi ng solusyon ngayon. Sama-sama tayong umaksyon dahil oras na Zamba Sulta.
Inyong napakinggan ang programang Oras na Zambasulta. Para sa mga komento, mensahe o suhestyon, tumawag o mag-text sa 0916-296-6625 o sa 0998-844-1410.
This is your community radio, 1116 DXAS, communicating Christ in our world.
Sa mga katanungang inyo pong ipinapadala